Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
A stretch of Minnesota highway is closed following a fire near a Detroit Lakes gas station. Becker County Sheriff's Office says fire crews are responding to the Detroit Lakes Cenex. It's located at 911 Highway 34 in DL. Large flames, as you can see in this video, and dark smoke can be seen. It was submitted by a viewer. A witness tells us she's heard an explosion and that there's possibly a vehicle on fire. No word on injuries at this point. We're continuing to be in contact with police and fire in Detroit Lakes. We'll pass along any details as soon as we get them.
Unfinished business. That's the story as the Minnesota legislature ends its session without coming to an agreement on a variety of issues. Left on the table, a bonding bill with hundreds of millions of dollars or over $1 billion, depending on which side of the aisle you lean toward.
Now that means many projects are going unfunded here in the Red River Valley. But one lawmaker says it's not all doom and gloom. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric breaks down this legislative session.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's more than just a movie title. It's how DFL Deputy Minority Leader Paul Marquardt categorized the end of this legislative session. Left on the chopping block, a bonding bill, with the DFL proposing $1.8 billion in funding. But that won't go toward higher education or local school districts looking to upgrade their facilities. And the biggest project that won't happen is one as old as dirt. A grade separation project in Moorhead. The DFL was going to pony up almost $40 million.
It was disappointing that we did not get a bonding bill done, and the other major disappointment was we did not get a long-term funding solution for transportation.
Another issue not fixed, complying with the Real ID Act. And Minnesota is running out of time after Homeland Security rejected their latest request for an extension. But Representative Marquardt says there were some good things they accomplished, especially when it comes to our schools. So if you live in a rural Minnesota school district with an upcoming bond referendum vote, the state legislature is going to pay you 40%. That means if your taxes go up by $10 an acre for a new school gym, the state is going to pay you $4. It's part of $800 million in tax cuts, along with allocating some local government aid and extra money for rural school districts. This comes amid the GOP-controlled Minnesota House calling the end of the session a, quote, train wreck, pointing the finger at the DFL for the failing MNsure system and for raising taxes. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Remember, this is an election year for your state representatives in Minnesota. We put a link on our website so you can find out who represents you. Just visit valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
We're following a developing story. It appears to be a nationwide robocall that's threatening schools in our area. Today, Cheney Middle School in West Fargo and Century Elementary School in Grand Forks both received a bomb threat. Students at both schools were evacuated as police conducted searches, and both schools received the all clear. We're also learning that the calls extend across the country. To name a few, bomb threats were also reported in Rochester, Minnesota, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Madison, Wisconsin, and Cheyenne, Wyoming. All of the telephone threats locally and across the country were automated. The West Fargo police chief says they're likely related and believes there's no credible threat.
Not too bad today, a little windy, and as I see on the sky cam now, it looks like there might be some rain on the horizon. Let's find out what we can expect for tonight. Hutch?
Thanks, Mike. That horizon is out to the west, and indeed there is a shower passing from south to north through the West Fargo area, Mapleton. But we started our day with a few sprinkles at sunrise, and much of the day we spent seeing the clouds vacate the region. We enjoyed sunshine and temperatures rising into the mid-80s today for a nice above-average day. Here's a look at the latest radar. The Castleton area could see a very light sprinkle, but maybe some heavier showers there from that rain in the western reaches of West Fargo, pushing towards Harwood. Should miss most of Fargo proper over the next hour or so. A couple of pimples on the radar screen, one in Monoman County, one in Pennington County. You could see isolated sprinkles, but the thunderstorm chances remain well to our east as we head into the evening. 70s in Fargo for most of our evening as we look upon that shower in the distance. Grand Forks, no shower there. Blue skies and 70s for the next couple of hours. And Mike, the wind remains pretty light as well. More rain chances if your garden didn't get any with this past round of storms. I'll have details on when the best chance will be in a minute.
Wouldn't mind a little rain.
Me either.
All right, thanks. Last night, a severe thunderstorm blasted the Northern Valley, leaving several residents in Grand Forks cleaning up a huge mess this morning. Initial reports from the National Weather Service say wind speeds reached 110 miles per hour in spots, that in Grand Forks. Much of the heaviest damage appears to be along Cottonwood Street and Campbell Drive. The high winds sent 3 separate backyard trampolines on a ride, one winding up being embedded on a house. Immediately following the storm, as many as 5,000 XL Energy customers lost power after trees fell on power lines. Now, if you're cleaning up debris in your neighborhood, the city of Grand Forks is asking that you haul it, if you can, away on your own, bring it to the Public Works facility. That's where containers are available. If you hire a contractor, they're asking you to bring it to the city landfill. And if you cannot haul away your own debris, the city asks that you place it on the berm, not by the street, not in the alley. Then call Public Works to schedule a special pickup.
A woman faces charges in Polk County after she allegedly stole a UND police car in Grand Forks and destroyed it in a crash near Crookston. This woman, 23-year-old Cassandra Ellis of Columbia, Missouri, is facing charges of possession of stolen property, which is a felony that carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. She also faces a DUI charge. Ellis allegedly stole a UND police car Sunday morning as they were responding to a call of an intoxicated woman. Ellis drove off Highway 2 near UMC in Crookston and flipped the vehicle. Ellis is also facing possible charges in Grand Forks.
How would you solve today's growing addiction problem? Some say put the people in jail. Others say no, get them the treatment they need in treatment facilities. North Dakota may be headed toward a shortage of licensed addiction counselors. There are 377 in the state. 5 years ago, half of that number was 50 years of age or older.
The focus needs to be in the pipeline, in the high schools and the colleges. We need to allow people to know that there is a career, that this is a needed and rewarding profession. And we need to help those folks when they are in college and afterwards for incentives.
Tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10, headed for a shortage in what might be standing in the way of attracting replacements.
More than a dozen police officers have been sworn in Fargo over the last several weeks.
The latest ceremony to curb the shortage happened this morning. Valley News Team's Cornelius Hocker explains how close Fargo PD is to being fully staffed.
The Fargo Police Department swore in 6 new officers today, so I decided to sit down with Deputy Chief Joe Anderson to see when those officers would be on the streets protecting you.
The thing to remember is that when we swear in an officer, typically they just don't hit the street. 4 out of these 6 will have to go to the Law Enforcement Training Academy out in Bismarck, which is a 12-week program.
Deputy Chief Joe Anderson says those 4 officers won't be on patrol by themselves until 2017. Currently, the Fargo Police Department has 160 sworn officers, just 3 shy of the 163 they're authorized. However, Deputy Chief Anderson says within the next month, at least 5 more officers will be leaving the force, bringing their shortage back up to 8.
It is not, it's not unique to Fargo PD. I mean, across the nation, law enforcement agencies are experiencing shortages, whether it's due to retirements and people exploring new career fields, and or people just not wanting to get into the law enforcement career field.
We asked Anderson if any of the newly sworn-in officers would be assigned to the street crimes unit to help battle the drug problem in our community.
It's a balancing act. You don't want to rob Peter to feed Paul, because now we're taking potentially patrol officers off the street when we're already short.
But Anderson says that's something they haven't ruled out as they assign the new officers. Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
2 officers sworn in today are already licensed law enforcement officers. They'll be out patrolling Fargo this fall.
The Clay County Sheriff is reminding people to wear helmets when riding ATVs. 3 teenagers were hurt yesterday near Ulen, Minnesota after their ATV rolled. 2 boys have serious injuries and a girl was pinned and had to be airlifted to Fargo.
One yesterday was a very serious one where one of them was pinned under the ATV and was airlifted to the hospital with some major head trauma. So just a reminder about that too, that they are very dangerous, and helmets would have helped all of them if they would have had them.
Crews say the 3 juveniles were on a Ranger when it rolled multiple times. And the National Click It or Ticket campaign has kicked off. Law enforcement in North Dakota, Minnesota, and the eastern half of the United States will start cracking down on drivers who are not buckled up. The North Dakota State Patrol says that in the last 10 years, 725 people have died in crashes while not wearing a seatbelt. Across the river in Minnesota, there were 527 people who died in the last 5 years not wearing seatbelts.
We do see more crashes during the winter months. However, we do see an increase in the number of serious injury and fatal type crashes during the summer months on clear sunny days such as today.
The cost of a ticket for an adult not wearing a seatbelt in North Dakota is $20 and in Minnesota up to $100. Sergeant Grabo also reminds people to slow down in work zones. The top complaint they get from construction workers is drivers speeding and distracted driving. Tickets start at $300 for speeding in a Minnesota work zone.
That's noticeable. End of the school year activities continue later on Valley News Live at 6. What 3rd and 4th graders were learning today about gardening.
And this afternoon, fair skies became a little dark as a shower is passing just off to the west of the Fargo area heading into the evening. Hit and miss showers a chance tonight. Temperatures today in the mid-80s, more warmth and thunder in the forecast. Details next.